guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here to film a different video for you today, continuing the theme of I'm a multifaceted human being with lots of different interests and life experiences that aren't just involving books. So today I put a request out on my Instagram the other day asking if you guys wanted some like spoonie life hacks, or I hate that phrase, it sounds really cringe, but like things I use and things I've learned over the years of being sick that might help you. I try and slip these things into vlogs, but I thought it would be better if I could like collect everything into one video and then you guys could share it with other people in your sick community who necessarily don't watch like 40 minutes of me talking about a book. So I'd love this video to be shared far and wide. There's obviously loads of disclaimers that come with this. I'm not a doctor, in case you hadn't realised. I am just a sicko. A note on terminology, I refer to myself as disabled, as chronically ill. I also lovingly refer to myself as a sicko, your resident sickie. They're just words that I like and that I use with my fellow sick friends. Please ask a sick or disabled person what they like to be referred to as, and don't make assumptions over people's illnesses. Of course, lots of these tips I'm sharing are holistic. This was all sparked actually because I put up a community post asking for advice. One of my dearest childhood friends is also a sicko, and she was having a severe downturn and we were trying to get her admitted into hospital, and I asked for help because I know there was a lot of sick people who follow me and community advice is just like so important. And I got a response from a lot of people who aren't sick or have experience in the sick world saying like, oh my god, I can't believe the NHS have treated her like that's unbelievable, like I didn't know that was a thing, and like sort of like outraged about it, which is absolutely fine. I'm not calling you out if you came into my DMs and did that, but I think there's this belief in the sanctity of the NHS. If you're not from the UK, then this also doesn't really make sense to you. The NHS is our free healthcare system that we have access to, which is of course a privilege. I know my American friends watching will be like, well, at least you have something, which totally is fine. But I think a lot of healthy people who use the NHS intermittently for physical illnesses or for repeat prescriptions, or I mean even some access to mental health is better than others, but particularly if you live in a chronically ill body, our NHS is not set up to help us, and we have to fight tooth and nail. You guys watch me fight for the vaccine. If you hadn't seen on Instagram, got my first dose of my vaccine finally, which feels amazing, but I had to fight for months to do that, and it's just so it's a privilege to believe in the access that the NHS provides for people, I think is the thing. So lots of these things I'm sharing are holistic, lots of these things are inspired by Eastern medicine. If that's not your thing, then that's absolutely fine, but I'm sharing these things because I have tried so many things that are prescribed to me through pharmaceuticals that don't work, and I'm definitely not of the mindset that you have to pick one or the other. I think there's definitely a balance. I take antibiotics, I take drugs that I need, and I also use these things. I don't think it's a one or the other answer, and I have a big problem with the holistic health community when they demonise a vital medicine that some of us require. So that's that. I am privileged enough to access private care, like I just said about the sanctity of the NHS. I have family support on my own savings that I can access some brilliant care that I've found in the last 6 months. A lot of people don't have access to this care because it is cost prohibited. So I'm sharing this information because a lot of this information has come from doctors that I've paid to see, so I feel like that's my duty as a member of the sick community to share things I've learned and things that might help other people who don't have access to that kind of care. And I'm also so thankful for the in real life sicko friends that I have. I say in real life as in like they're people who are as close to me as my in real life friends. One is my friend Phoebe, who's a childhood friend I've had for a very, very long time, and we fell sick within a year of each other, and I've written about her before and I love her dearly, and so much of my sick protocol comes from her because she is a wealth of knowledge, because she's been sick just like me. And then my other beautiful friend Cisco, who I've actually never met, but we've been Instagram friends for like 3 years, and we FaceTime and WhatsApp, and I consider her one of my closest friends, and I learn a lot from her in particular about my endometriosis. So is that all I want to say? If this is relevant, this is videos for anyone who experiences chronic pain, any kind of chronic illness. You think these things might help you. I'm more talking about treating symptoms and managing my symptoms, so you don't necessarily have to have the same diseases as me for this to be relevant to you, but in case it is interesting or of note to you, I will say here, I have classical Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I have ME, I have endometriosis, and I have suspected POTS. So they're the things I live with. If you don't know about these diseases, please go and look up yourself. I am not a dictionary. And on that note, I also need to put in some boundaries as my platform is growing, which is like amazing, and I'm so grateful to having so many fellow sick people who want to watch me, as well as able-bodied people who want to learn. But I just have to put some boundaries in place, particularly in relation to trauma dumping. If you don't know what trauma dumping is, that is the act of sending messages that can be traumatic, informing particularly around health. Lots of chronically sick people, myself included, have a lot of traumatic experiences related to hospital visits and medical gaslighting and all these different things. So to have to constantly talk about illness can be really stressful, and to have other people who you don't know, who you don't have a symbiotic relationship with, where you, for example, like I have a support system of friends and other sick friends in my life, like especially the two that I just mentioned, where we share information and we support each other. But sometimes when you have a platform, a lot of people come to you for advice, and then you don't really get anything back, and it can end up being quite overwhelming. And this is absolutely not to throw shade at anyone who's ever come into my DMs and asked me about medical stuff. Like, please don't feel bad about that. I just need to put some boundaries in place for my own mental health, for managing things in my real life and my own health. And yeah, I just need to say that like, please don't come and give unsolicited advice, which people don't really do to me personally. That's more a problem in my real life. But also don't come and suddenly share something awful that's happened to you that I'm not prepared to read about, because you can imagine that you think you're just sending that to one person, but I might have 7 of those messages, which compared to people who have millions of followers, that's nothing. But still, to read about 7 people's traumatic experiences in hospital in one weekend is like quite intense. So I just wanted to put that out there. Anyway, I've already rambled for so long, so I'm splitting this video into 2 parts, because I think the mental aspect of coping with illness and disability is a whole separate video that I will be filming probably straight after this, so you'll probably see exactly the same outfit, but I'm going to do more physical things in this one and then move on to mental and like support systems I have in place to help me cope with being ill. So let's get started. Whole body pain. Sorry if some of these are basic, by the way, because I really want this video to be like as coordinated with as many things as possible. I'm sure a lot of you guys, long-time sickies, will be like, yeah, duh, Hannah, we already have that. And that is the heat pad. So if you guys don't have a heat pad, then get on the train. There's so many great memes about like what the heat pad does for us sickos. But if you don't know what a heat pad is, it's like a mini blanket. You can get them of all different sizes. It's got a controller. My one's quite fancy. It's got like a timer. I really recommend getting one with the timer, because one of my symptoms is that I find it really hard to regulate my body temperature, particularly at night. So I have this on because my feet get really cold, but then I can turn it off. Have it on for only 30 minutes so I don't wake up sweating in the middle of the night. It plugs in, it has 6 temperatures, and it basically operates like an electric hot water bottle. It's really good for saving spoons. I don't think it doesn't burn like the way you want a hot water bottle to. Like, all my stomach and thighs are scarred from hot water bottle burns, because particularly with endometriosis, those flares are like so intense that I really need the hot water bottle kind of burn. Like, if you're a sicko, you'll know what that burn is. But this is so good if you live alone, or like, obviously Tom fills my hot water bottles for me all the time, but it's really nice to have something for the middle of the night so I don't have to wake him up, or just like if you just want to be a bit cozy. Like, I absolutely love my one. I think they're about 20 quid. I will link like similar things down below, because honestly a lot of this has come from like all kinds of places, so I don't feel like this is the best heat pad I've ever had. This is just one that I love. On the topic of heat, the superior hot water bottle for me is a UU. They are this super long hot water bottle with this tie, and you can actually tie them around your waist or around your neck, around your back, and I just think they're superior to a normal hot water bottle because they're so big, and I can actually lie this down the back of my spine if I have joint pain. I just absolutely love them. They're about 30 quid. I think you can get copies of them now, but I have the original UU brand one, and I absolutely love it. Also, it's this really cute orange colour. I got this for Christmas last year, and I have used it every single day that I've owned it. Absolutely adore it. Okay, back on the pain front. If you have any kind of cranial instability, neck instability, or any kind of issue with well, pain really, then I recommend you get a bolster cushion. Kieran messaged me when I showed this in the group chat and asked me if it was Balenciaga print or Gucci print or something, which was so funny to me. But anyway, I have a memory foam one. My one is very firm, because that's what suits my needs, but like my grandma has one and hers is basically like a normal cushion. My friend SICKO also has a body pillow, which are huge. Here's a picture of one, which you can sort of like wrap yourself into, and honestly I just don't have one because I don't really need any more stuff. But I really like this for sitting on the sofa. I like it for, like, I think I've explained before, one of my problems is holding my own head up really hurts, so having something like this where I can like rest against is really useful. And you can tuck it under like this, have your elbows resting, and then you can use your laptop if you're sitting on the sofa, which I find really helpful because sometimes I get aching joints here. So that's my bolster cushion. Also, this was so good post endo surgery because you're not meant to sleep on your side, but you can sort of like arrange yourself on it a lot better than normal pillows. So I love her, she's bae. Alongside her is my, oh, this is so heavy, lap desk. This is a really bad way to show you. I don't actually love this one I have. I think my friend SICKO has a nicer one. This one was on Amazon and I got it like last minute, but it goes like this. The legs are adjustable. It basically sits if you need to do work in bed or on the sofa. It provides a flat surface. I eat my dinner on it. I use it for, yeah, like I said, my laptop, for reading books. Like, it just is a really good platform. Also, when you've got your heat pad, you're not meant to put your laptop on top of your heat pad because that would obviously fuck up your laptop. So having this in between is really helpful. I like this one because it's got adjustable legs, so I can change the height depending if I literally want to lay down and type, or if I want to like just use it for like TV and stuff. Me and Tom use it, so really recommend one of these if you work from home. I should have prefixed this by saying also I obviously don't work at the moment. I like study and all my other worky things are like in my own time, so I understand that this is a completely different kettle of fish if you work full-time with chronic pain and maybe you can't bring these things everywhere you go. But my friend SICKO did a really good video on Instagram about working full-time with chronic pain, and I will link that down below. Next thing, my acupressure mat. I featured this in a vlog a few times and people were asking me to feedback on it, and I said I would test it a bit more, and I really like it. Like really like it. This is a rip-off one. It's from this brand, Base Yoga. I got it on eBay, but I think the original ones, they're called like SICKO mats. They're like £100, which I was not prepared to do, but it's basically just a cotton mat with tiny spikes in it. If you've ever been to acupuncture before, I swear by acupuncture, then this won't feel like that intense to you, but if you've never done it before, then I recommend looking up videos on how to use it. But I find it really helpful to use it when I meditate, which brings me on to my next thing for pain, meditation. I know, please hold, because I was also so skeptical, like, no, I'm not going to think myself out of pain. It's not really about that. It's about calming your nervous system. And when you live with chronic pain, it's so easy to disassociate from your body because obviously being in your body and being present is really hard. So specific like meditations for people with chronic pain I find really helpful. My friend and I made a playlist. We use the app Insight Timer. It's completely free and all the people on it are completely free. I will link. Dora is one of my favourite teachers on there. She does this thing called the emotional body scan, which I really love. And then there's a couple of other people, Sarah Blondie, and there's like 2 other practitioners who I really like. But I will link all my info about Insight Timer. We've got playlists, one called SOS, which is like the one we use for emergencies, and the one called like longer resting, which is for longer resting. So I really like to lie on this when I meditate. It just like adds an extra oomph and like helps me center my body and stuff. I know that probably sounds really woo-woo to non-sick people, but you know, don't knock it till you try it. It really has helped me. So that's my acupressure mat. I'm going to talk more in depth, I think, about meditation in my mental health side of the video, so look out for that. Okay, and then a couple of like specific things. If you suffer with restless legs, sciatica, any kind of nerve pain, then I found magnesium lotion really useful. So this is the brand I really like, called Better You. Magnesium is a natural muscle relaxant. I take magnesium for sleep, which you'll see in another section, but I really like this cream, and I put it on my Instagram and I had a couple of messages from people, someone even saying that them and their nan both use it and love it, which honestly, this is like why I wanted to make these videos, just to share these things, because this is the kind of information that should be available to anyone. So yeah, that's my magnesium lotion. I rub it on my legs. If you put it on and feel like really intense tingling to start with, that normally means you've got a magnesium deficiency. So I don't have access to a bath most of the time because I live in a flat with a shower. But taking Epsom salt baths is a good alternative. But if you don't have access to a bath, then using this and taking oral supplements for magnesium will help with the tingling feeling. Okay. Migraines, chronic migraines, pain with migraines, head pressure, any kind of pain related to that. My favourite things, I actually don't have any left with me at the moment, I used my last one last night, are these Cool and Soothe cool strips. They're sort of like sticky gel strips and you just stick them on the middle of your head. They kind of, I guess, a similar function to the heat pad in the sense that like when I don't want to get out of bed and get an ice pack, I can just stick one in my head in the middle of the night, and also they just like hit different to an ice pack. Like I can't explain it, they just feel so good. Like when I'm really ill, like stick one on my head, lie on my acupressure mat, like literally like a zombie, but feels good. So can't recommend them enough. They're not medication or anything, they're literally just like cool strips, they're called. The other thing on a similar vein is reusable. This is called the hangover mask, but sis ain't using this for a hangover. But I like this eye mask because a lot of my migraine pain comes here in between my eyes. So obviously if I put this on my face, hello, it feels really nice, but also, as my friends would have seen the other weekend, I wear it backwards because a lot of my skull pain comes back here, so I can sort of like strap it on and it's hands-free. So you spend a lot of time when you're sick looking like an idiot, but whatever works. So I absolutely love this, and it was about like £7. And then I just have regular ice packs for pain. Took me so long to get ice packs as a sickie, like, and I remember getting these in the post and being like straight taken back to primary school, and you would like, we used to have like see-through ones with blue bits in them. But honestly, like when I had surgery, I couldn't tolerate heat on the area that was like cut open for so long, and that's all I ever knew for pain relief was heat. And then someone was like, try ice packs, and I was like, oh my god, because it's like a numbing sensation. So the reusable ice pack is underrated in my book. I send them like, if any of my friends are like getting sick or something, that sounds like, I mean, like when I meet people who are newly ill, I'm like, send them a pack of ice packs to keep in the freezer. I recommend getting like 2 or 3 so you can swap them out, like keep them at my mum's house. And I'm a fan of the ice as much as I am as the heat. I feel like it's the underdog in the pain world. And then, oh yeah, a couple of things I learned from Perrin. I have Perrin Technique treatment, which is like a form of manual lymphatic drainage. It's not on the NHS, you have to pay for it. It's amazing for ME and like any kind of energy limiting illness. But there are 2 specific, I don't know what you call them, moves that I learned in there that have really helped me, particularly in those like SOS moments of pain. So I thought I would just show you them. I probably will look insane when I do them. But the first one is you take your hands really gently like this and you stroke your face like this, and then you go like this. And it sort of makes that shudder feeling if you've ever had sort of like, you know, when you see a spider or something, it kind of does that. And it's just, I find it very soothing for head pain. So you stroke like this and down the back. And then the other one is you take your second finger and you push gently on either side of your nose bridge for 30 seconds. Then you push up into the bone in between your eyebrows and back down. And you do that over and over again for like 4 or 5 minutes, and I find that relieves some of the tension that I have. So I thought I would throw those in because they've really helped me in moments of SOS. Okay, nausea. This is new to me. I haven't had like extreme nausea before, but one of my close friends is suffering so horrendously at the moment with like very, very extreme nausea. So I've sort of collected things that I've used and then things for like the next level up where she is trying to deal with. So if you have regular nausea and you have chronic illness, then obviously your diet comes into it. I'm not going to here say like what's the best diet to do for endo. There's a lot of research that gluten and dairy free is good for a lot of energy limiting illnesses. Gluten free is meant to be the best, so I follow a gluten free, low FODMAP, dairy free diet for the most part. Occasionally I veer off of low FODMAP, but it's really about trial and error and working with a nutritionist if you can afford to do so, because there's so much conflicting evidence out there for what you should be doing. But definitely whatever you try, just make sure you try it for long enough, because I think mistakes I made in the past is just doing something for like 3 weeks and be like, it's not working, and then give up. But anyway, on the nausea front, car sickness is quite a new thing for me. I had it as a kid, but it's like come back around since I got ill like had this most recent flare in January. So oil of peppermint extra strength capsules are honestly like, they are the heat pad of the nausea world. Like anytime someone's like, I feel a bit sick, I'm a bit hungover, I'm like, peppermint pill, peppermint pill. I take 2 of these before I get in the car, and they leave this like cool bubbly feeling. If I eat something or like overindulge, or particularly now like I'm like meeting friends for a pizza on the beach or something, I will pop one of these before and after, and I honestly, game changer for me. They are basically just like peppermint essential oil inside a capsule. Also so good if you are having any kind of laparoscopy surgery, anything to do with endometriosis surgery. You need these for the gas release afterwards. Alongside that is peppermint tea. I love loose leaf peppermint tea. I feel like you can brew it to be really strong, and that really helps my nausea a lot better than like just a normal Dunky tea bag. But my gorgeous friend sent me this one. I haven't opened it yet. Also on the tea front, ginger tea. This is sweet ginger tea. I just bought this because it was on sale, but normally I make fresh ginger tea, or Tom makes it and brews it for me, and then I keep it in the fridge. Ginger is so good for sensitive stomach pain, so can't beat a ginger tea for me. Another thing I was recommended from a practitioner, which this tastes gross, guys, it tastes like we're drinking Bacardi, but it's milk thistle. So with lymphatic drainage, or if you have any kind of treatment that is releasing toxins, then nausea is like quite a common side effect. So I drink milk thistle. You put 20 drops in a glass of warm water and you neck it, and you cringe because it tastes kind of like alcohol because it's a tincture. But I found that really helpful for me, so that's that. And then just a couple of notes on things I've learnt recently from my friend is the Brat diet for gastric issues. If you're struggling with like gastritis or anything like extreme issues keeping down food, then Brat is the way to go. And I feel like that's a really helpful, like life-saving thing to know, because I feel like it's so confusing to know what to eat, but then the less you eat, the more weak you feel. So Brat is oh my god, banana, apple puree, like mashed banana, apple puree, rice, toast. That's it. That's all you eat. My friend is doing that at the moment, and she is 3 days keeping her food down, which is amazing. Something else I learned from the SICK community this week was that you should always have sugar before salt if you are partial to throwing up, because something about the sugar going down first is like meant to be encouraging to go down, not back up. So that's why it's like banana and apple first before rice and toast. But if you have issues throwing up, then you need to, and going out the other way as well, you should be ensuring that you're drinking electrolytes. That's Lucozade Sport, or you can buy like healthier, like powdered electrolytes. Also great if you have pots, because you need to up your salt intake as well. So you can home make your own electrolytes, but I mostly drink Diarrhea, or I have a powdered electrolyte that I had on prescription, but honestly any electrolyte is good. Just make sure it doesn't have a ton of sugar in it if you're going to drink it all the time. But that is that. And I forgot one thing about nausea, which like this isn't even like that. This is something that helps me, but I feel like a lot of people do this anyway, and that's having like safe foods. Like if your appetite fluctuates and you find it hard to find things to eat, there's like a couple of things I know I can always stomach, and one of them is this brand of granola, Deliciously Ella Dry. Just eat it in a bowl. It's good for fibre, and I find that really useful. And she also makes granola bars, and I like those as well. And then I eat a lot of children's health foods, and these are my favourite thing in the world. Pulsin Kids Oat Bars, orange chocolate chip. They have like nothing in them. They're just like oats and dates. And I often get quite nauseous before bed, and I can just eat one of these before I go to sleep, and that sorts me out. And then a random one for not necessarily nausea, but like flu-y type symptoms, which I feel like this is like a normal person thing. Like I give this to Tom all the time, and that's oil of oregano. If you have a sore throat, any kind of tickly throat, oil of oregano, take it as soon as you feel the tickle, alongside echinacea. I don't actually have a bottle of echinacea to show you, but that is essential in my books, and I feed it to Tom all the time. Okay, next up, energy. Anything to like offload that mental energy of having to think about things all the time is really helpful. So like I know I always have those bars in the back of the cupboard, so I can just reach when I don't have to think about what I need to do. I just think I feel sick, get a bar. Do you know what I mean? So like that's why so many of these things are helpful to have written down, which goes back to the energy thing of like having lists, having protocols in place, like toolkits we call them, of things you can access when things are going really low. Everyone wants the answer to what gives you more energy. I don't drink caffeine because it puts me up and it fucks up a lot of people with chronic illness because it just helps you participate in the burn cycle. Like for me anyway, because you drink it, you have heightened energy, and then you crash even harder when the caffeine goes off. I mean, when I first got sick and was working a full-time job, I was drinking 7 Nespressos a day, which is absolutely vile. So I stayed off it altogether now. I don't even drink green tea. But there is no easy answer to what gives you more energy. Like, everyone wants more energy, and no one knows unless you do suffer with chronic fatigue. Like, you can't explain the bone crushing tiredness of fatigue. Rest doesn't help, sleep doesn't help. Like, I've gone months by waking up and thinking I still feel exhausted as I did yesterday. That all comes down to like how you're managing the rest of your illness, what your root causes are. Like, that's a whole complex thing that I can't really advise in this video, but small things that help me: electrolyte drinks, pacing. I can do a whole separate video on pacing if that's something that interests you. One thing I have noticed the difference with is taking high dose vitamin C. This is the brand I use. I find that really, I've noticed an improvement in my like resilience and my ability to bounce back from crash days by having that. Small things around the house that help me: a shower stool. I sit when I have a shower, and it's great. Even if I got healthy, I think I would sit when I had a shower. So I highly recommend a shower stool. I currently sit on a ladder that I found in the cupboard, but at my mum's house I do have a proper shower stool. I sat on a wooden like seat for ages. Like, you can get all kinds of things, but I just keep a ladder. It's quite useful. It's like a tiny ladder that folds down the side of my bathroom. But yeah, if you don't have a shower stool, get on it. Saves so many, especially if you have pots, because standing up and tolerating hot water at the same time is just like not a vibe. You get so faint, and it also makes me feel safer about showering alone and not like showering in the house alone, because there's less likely that I'm gonna fall over or faint. So I love my shower stool. Another thing one of my gorgeous healthy friends got me is this hairbrush that is like got these rubber things on it, but lifting your arms up and like washing your hair like this is so long. When I sit on my shower stool, I can just sort of like go like this, and it really massages in the shampoo that I'm using, because I obviously don't wash my hair. Not obviously, I'm a sick person. Washing my hair uses so many spoons, so I would try and wash my hair only twice a week, and it does get really greasy, so I like to give it like a really good wash, and this little brush has really helped me do that. It's really satisfying, and it also relieves some head pain, like tension, so that's a little self-care thing I like. Drying your hair, that also uses a lot of spoons. I've heard people with these like hair dry stands. I've never tried one. Tom dries my hair for me. That's my number one tip when it comes to energy. Offload your tasks and ask for help. I am so bad at asking for help. I was so bad for so many years, and only since my health has deteriorated in the last 6 months has I really had to be like, right, what are all the tasks I can pass off to someone else, my partner, your carer, I'm in a situation where I don't need to pay for a carer because I have Tom to help me, but that is potentially something I considered and something I will consider again in the future, because there's absolutely no shame, and there is access to care you can have through your local health authority if you live in the UK. So I recommend you look into that, about long-term health packages and long-term care, because the last thing you want to do is burn your partner or the people around you out, because it's a lot of work to take on looking after someone else, or even like running the household, doing the washing, all those things. So yeah, asking for help is my number one tip there. Okay, I feel like I have 2 more things to go. God, this can be such a long video. Organisation, some of these are quite basic. Pill box, I love this one because it has like different days of the week you can take out, and it's got morning, noon and night. Ideally I would love one that had like dinner and night, because there's some pills in the night section I take before bed and some I take with dinner. But I absolutely love this one because they all come apart, so if I'm going to the hospital or whatever, I can take 2 with me, and yeah, just really love it. We'll link it down below. And it's pretty rainbows. But pill, if you're not on the pill organizer train and you take a lot of medication and supplements, it saves so much energy on like low executive function days, because I only have to do it once a week, and I have it all written down. I can follow the instructions. I know where everything goes, and I don't have to think about it for another week. I know some people do by the month, but like that seems like too much organisation for me. I live on a week by week basis in this house. My TV arm, I've shown you this in some vlogs if you haven't seen it. Another one of my gorgeous friends bought it for me for my birthday. It straps onto any flat platform that you have. This goes on my bedside table. You can also put it on your like bed frame, and then this grabbing section fits your phone, fits your iPad, fits my Kobo, your Kindle, and it's a game changer, guys. Absolute game changer. If you have hand tremors, fibromyalgia, chronic pain, anything like this, get yourself, oh my god, and my friends, on the label it was called a gooseneck, so now we keep calling it a gooseneck. But yeah, my device arm, my third arm, very useful. A basic one, water bottle with a straw. When I'm so ill and I'm lying in bed, I can just sip away. This is my Hydro Flask covered in the cutest stickers ever. But any water bottle with a straw is such a good gift if you've got sick friends in your life. Like a water bottle with a straw, perfect birthday present. And the last thing, which I mentioned in a recent vlog, is an inside handbag. These are Bagoo bags, which I absolutely love. I have loads of them for like food shopping and stuff. But all of these things that I need every day, my supplements, my water bottle, my eye mask, my headphones, my iPad, my coat, I keep it all in a bag, and then I carry the bag from room to room, so I don't have to like have all this stuff with me all the time. Another way to save executive function. Okay, but like we really rattled through that. Oh, one thing on the pill organising, I have alarms on my phone. I love a routine, absolutely love a routine. So I have alarms to remind me when to take my pills. I find it really helpful, basic, but that's that. Okay. Sleep. Sleep is the devil. It is the long lost friend everyone desires when you have chronic illness. It is proven that your sleep gets worse the iller you are. Your body hates you, whatever. Things I take for sleep that have actually helped me. I've tried so many things. I've done prescription sleeping pills, I've done all kinds of things, and I still have a hard time, but these are things that I keep in my routine. Obviously I practice good sleep hygiene, don't go on your phone in the middle of the night, all those rules you've heard 1,000 times. But things that have changed the game for me: melatonin. I tried melatonin a couple of years ago and it didn't do anything for me, and then this particular brand, it comes from Europe, but you don't have to pay that much for the shipping. It's from a brand called Raw Powders. My friend uses the powder you can make up into a drink as well, which I think I might try that next, but I just have a lot of other drinks I have to drink at the moment for other health things, so I got these. But yeah, I take 2 of these every night before bed, and I think they are making a big difference at helping me get to sleep. Eye mask. Sounds simple, hugely underrated. I love this one, or like ones like this, because it has a nose bridge in it, and so it is so flat against your eyes that the sunlight doesn't come in. I'm such a sensitive light sleeper, which is like such a thing for sick people. So upgrading my eye mask really changed the game this year. Haven't tried these yet, but there was people doing loads of construction work when I had a migraine, and my friend was like, oh my god, these are the best earplugs I've ever used. Bio ears. Haven't tried them yet. We'll let you know if they work. Kind of get creeped out about stuff in my ears, so we'll see, but I feel like they might help me, especially when I like sleep in places that aren't my own bed. What else? Oh, just the basic cushion. When I go to sleep, I have pelvic pain, pelvic instability, hip instability, any issues like this. Sleeping with a pillow in between your knees. You can buy something that like straps your knees together, but honestly I find sleeping with a pillow really comfortable, and it relieves some of that like bone knocking pain that I get. So if you haven't tried that, recommend it. Yoga Nidra, that I'm going to talk about more in mental health. That's a type of meditation that I use when I wake up in the middle of the night. And the other thing that goes along with sleep that is linked more to mental health is anxiety. Waking up in the middle of the night, counting how many hours you have, like all that kind of stuff is so awful, and I've done it so many times, and advice from one of my beautiful sick friends' late grandmother is that rest is good enough, and I really hold that dear and I think about it all the time. Lying in bed, closing your eyes, listening to an audiobook, listening to a meditation, even if you're not asleep, rest is good enough. You're resting your body, you're giving it time to recoup and regenerate, and making yourself panic about the lack of sleep that you're getting does no good for anyone. So hold that dear to you, rest is good enough. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to cover in this video, and then I'm going to do pacing and mental health in my next video. So I hope you guys found this useful. Please share any Spoonie tips down below if you are a fellow sicko. If you are not, then I hope you learned something. Please share this with anyone else in your life or on the internet who is ill, and I hope that they can find some relief in some of these hacks. So thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with a new video soon. Bye.